Right, Paul, so can you tell me a little bit about this chair?
Right, Liz, what we have here is my €1.59. That's right, €1.59 I paid for this chair. Now, when I paid for it from the Mercato Usato in Teramo, it's actually a recliner, believe it or not. It has a mechanism in the side, underneath one side here. Unfortunately, the other side is missing, so that's a job for the future. So the arms have actually been nailed in. That you lifted it up, and it operates in a similar way to the back of a deck chair, with different grooves, and it will actually lower the back. Everything is hinged. Unfortunately, when we bought the chair, the hinges that this back piece hinged on were both broken. The webbing and the material that's sitting on, that I'm tapping on here, had also virtually disintegrated. So what I did was very simply to replace the webbing with some webbing that we had on an old sofa from the house we bought that wasn't actually fire resistant, so we turfed it out. But we recycled quite a lot of it, the wood, the material, some of the webbing we've used on a number of different projects. So it came into play here again. So now we have a nice 5-webbed base underneath this. Some material that we recycled from was actually a bed cover.
So could you show us exactly what you've done underneath there?
So you can't see what's under. This was original material that was underneath the chair, so we've actually left that in place because sadly the material on the top was not salvageable, but we kept the original webbing is under there, and the original material that was also under there. We've kept it just for the sake of posterity, and you can see the wood and the construction. Here underneath there you can see the new hinges that I put in place, just so that at some stage in the future I will replicate.
So when you're talking about the webbing, is it sort of across the chair in a sort of crisscross fashion? What did you discover?
Originally in the chair we had 2 pieces of webbing going across here, and then there were 3 pieces coming along this way. Now that webbing was completely done, there was no elasticity left in it at all. These chairs come from the 1950s and the 1960s, and originally it would have had some kind of headrest or something here. But so what I've done is I've put in new webbing 3 across this way, and then because to try and spread the elasticity a bit more, I've actually put 4 pieces of webbing across here, elastic. So it does then give a little bit, it gives enough for you to get the comfort on it. And you can see here, I'm not quite sure if you can see inside there, this is the reclining mechanism where you would basically lift the arm up, and you can just maybe make out the little serrations in the top, the small grooves. Now, unfortunately it's missing from the other side, so at some stage when I have a bit more time I will replicate that.
And can I just ask you, with regards to the webbing and the material you put on the top, how have you attached that to the chair?
Well, this material is all attached by staples.
Okay.
Like with an industrial staple gun. So the webbing goes on first, you stretch it, you double it over on itself, where you then staple, so you're doubling through double thickness of the webbing, so it gives it extra strength in its holding, and it's much less likely to tear once you sit in it. Then once that is on, starting on the front with a nice straight edge of the actual material itself, then bringing it over, removing the back of the chair so it drops down behind, then you get a nice straight bit there. You can keep one straight edge of the material on this side, so basically you only have to cut the material on the opposite side of the chair.
And would you say this was a very difficult job if somebody wanted to try and attempt this themselves? Would you say?
No, it's not a difficult job. You just have to have the confidence that, this was, if it had been €159 chair when you bought it, you might want to try and find the original pattern material and do all of that kind of stuff with it. But it's a €1.59 chair, and it was going to be going on the scrap heap and end up in somebody's fire. Now we've bought it and salvaged it, and it will get the serrations replaced. But doing this webbing and stuff is not difficult. You just have to have the confidence to say, yes, I can do that. It's not hard. If you have any questions about it, uncertainties, you can also always ask the questions perhaps on the YouTube channel. I'm not quite sure how it works, if you can do that or not, but you're more than welcome to ask, and any assistance I can give you, I'm more than happy to do so, because I learn from other people and then gives you the confidence to tackle things yourself. Then we have the cushions. Now this is clearly not the original material, but it was good quality material, that was on these cushions, so somebody had already done some of the work for me in recovering these. This will be a bit of a journey, because there you are. This was the original material, this colour blue, you can see, which very sadly was so badly damaged here that we couldn't salvage it. But obviously this is, it's worn and it's discoloured and whatever, so somebody had made a start on it and either bought or machined these quite sort of period colour materials and things, and once they are put in situ, obviously they're, instead of the original backing, which has probably been destroyed at some stage or the other because things change, people don't, they want the creature comforts and that, rather than just a little headrest or a backrest there. There's another cushion been done, and you have a chair there which, if you went to go and buy something similar to it, is going to cost you a minimum of 60-70 euros. Granted, it might recline, on the other hand it just might not.
And how much did you pay? Just remind us, how much did you pay for
this chair? Cost me €1.59. I nearly killed the people in the rush when I saw it outside, my wife included. When I saw the price on it, normally I have to check everything with my wife before I buy it, but on this occasion I took the chance. I saw the label, I took the label off the chair just in case anybody else saw it, and I shot the label into the shop with my €1.60 in my hand, showed the man who we know very well in there the ticket, gave him the money, said thank you very much, that will do me. So this chair, which has already had these covers on, basically all I had to do was replace the hinges on the back, and you also have to make sure that the screws, there are two different size screws because they're two different thicknesses of wood, and if you put the screws the wrong way around, you end up with the threads of the screw coming through and piercing the material. You don't want to do that, because then it starts losing threads and stuff. But there you are, ladies and gentlemen, €1.59 chair, and it's very, very comfortable indeed.